Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Hey, we the Hebrew Israelites. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom of America, a.k.a. Babylon, a.k.a. Egypt, okay, a.k.a. Sodom and Gomorrah. And it is Sodom and Gomorrah to the fullest, right? Mm-hmm. First and foremost, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Crocodiles. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the Master rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. We are here for the elect, and the elect only of the 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, so-called Negroes, Benjamin, so-called West Indian Jamaicans, Levi, the Haitians. You got Reuben of the Seminole Indians, Gad of the North American Indians, Issachar, so-called Mexicans. Zebulun is Guatemala to Panama, Manasseh of the Cubans, Simeon of the Dominicans, Ephraim of the Puerto Ricans, Asher is Colombia to Uruguay, Naphtali is Argentina to Chile. These are the 12 tribes of Israel who our big brother Yahweh Shai coming to redeem 1/3 the elect, 2/3 set up for the destruction. Okay, the last 2 weeks through the Spirit, the Lord has allowed us to bring out a tribe. Okay, and try to bring out this quick tribe before we get into our lesson, which is the tribe of Zebulun. So let's get Genesis 49. 49 and 13.
You look at Genesis.
Deuteronomy 33 and 18.
This book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 13. And it reads, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
Haven.
The haven of the sea, Salah.
It says Zebulun, right, shall dwell at the haven of the sea. So we know through the Spirit what it is, but you have a lot of people who's like, they don't want to believe what the tribes and who they are, okay? Which they came from the other side. So when you deal with the tribe of Zebulun, the scripture's gonna tell you that it goes into that they were near Zidon. So they were coastal, right? You go into it, it goes into maritime. Right, they had the ports back then. They dealt with the part of Israel on the Mediterranean. So Zebulun was there, and that was where the ports came in. Okay, the commercial goods came in. Okay. Now, what you got in 33?
You said 33 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
This is Deuteronomy 33 and 18. And of Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
Read that again, Zebulun.
Deuteronomy 33 and 18. And of Zebulun, he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
Okay, 19.
Verse 19. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness.
Of righteousness. And one of the sacrifices of righteousness they had. Yeah, you famous now?
How you doing?
You be in Hollywood? Shalom. For about 5 seconds. Somebody somewhere gonna say, I know her. You see. One of the things that Zebulun used to be kind of loyal. They were loyal to King David. Okay. Now you read First Chronicles 12 and 33. This is a loyalty that they had to. I'm gonna show you to King David what they did for King David. This is First Chronicles 12 and 32. It says, of Zebulun such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000 which could keep rank, that they were not of double heart. So when the battle went rough, Zebulun was the type they would hold their positions. Okay? All right? They would hold their positions, so they had that loyalty to King David. Now, Zebulun in the Hebrew is Zabalawan, which means dwelling. Okay? Now, when you read the haven, okay, now the tribes came over here. When you read, in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra, 13th chapter, starting at the 40th verse, the tribes came on this side. Okay? What Ecclesiastes 4 and 16 said, there are no end to the people. There's no end to the people, man. Okay? So those tribes are here. Through the Spirit, we know what they are. Now, that word haven that you read in the scripts, okay? That word haven, well, read what you got in the part where it said they came over here.
This book is 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. It reads, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king who Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth in further country where never mankind dwelt.
That's right.
Verse 42. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Go ahead.
Verse 43.
So they didn't even keep them in their own land, but they want to keep the statutes now.
God.
Hey, them northern tribes, man, you gotta remember they was something else, man. And then they was under what was that? Jeroboam. So Jeroboam was wicked as hell too. Go ahead.
Verse 43 in the reason. And they entered the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. Verse 44. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Because the Atlantic waters, that part of the Atlantic waters are real rough. Okay? Real turbulent waters. Go ahead.
Verse 45. For through that country there were a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
It took a year and a half to go from there to over here. Earlier, Solomon used to go, he used to have the Canaanites come over here to get certain woods and peacocks and different stones to build his temple. And it would take them, when they left, the family would see them 3 years later. And it took Solomon, 14 years to build his house. Okay? All right, so that's every 3 years we're looking at 4 trips. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Done.
They had to come out a year and a half. They had to do it 4 times at least. You see, they had to do it at least. They had to do it at least twice for the Lord's house. They built the Lord's house 7 years. And Solomon took 14 to build his house. So that's a lot of going back and forth coming over here to this side, man. Go ahead.
In the region, and the same region is called Assyria.
Arcer means unknown land, which is America. Okay, so them tribes are here, so they came from the other side, but there's no end to the people. So when it reads Zebulon is a haven of ships, we look at maps, right? We figure it out. You look at the word haven. The word haven means a harbor or a port. A piece of safety, refuge, a place of offering favor, opportunities, and conditions. Okay? Now, knowing that, it says a port. Zebulon is where Guatemala is to Panama. Okay? If you can receive that. So-called Panamanians. Okay. Now, if you go to Panama, what's in Panama? They give us the clue that it's Zebulon. You went into the word haven, and it went into ports. Okay. That's the key. That's the key word, a port. Now, when ships travel from the west, coming anywhere from the west, or going anywhere east to west, what do they have to go through? They have to go through the Panama Canal. Okay, that's what they go through. If you pull up Panama Canal, you will see where they have these canals on both sides. A ship will come down and stop at a certain place, right? And then that whole piece of platform would drop down with the ship on there to the next set of water, and it'll be able to push on through. You got to have your papers, man. Because back in the day, it spoke of the maritime for Zebulon. That was at port city. So Panama is that same port city where it says commercial, meaning goods. Whenever they bring in goods from that side over here, they don't go down below South America and come up no more. They just cut through the Panama Canal. You go in there with your papers, and then they bring you to a platform. Then they drop you down to the next set of water. And then you go from Pacific waters to Atlantic waters. It's like a shortcut. Okay? Now, at Port Haven, okay, I'm gonna read something right quick. I'm gonna type Panama Canal, I think. See what come up. Panama Canal, Says Panama Canal is Panama Canal is a official waterway in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. See that little thin land that's probably it says 50 miles, right? It's about from here to probably Malvern. It's just a piece of land, that strip of Panama, that's the shortest piece. When you see Panama, it comes down, it hooks down to South America. That little bitty strip is anywhere from 40 to 50 miles right there. And that little strip of land is where the canal where they go through. Right? They have the ships come through there. They cut through. It's a cut through. Because if they didn't cut through, guess what? It'll take them a year and a half to do it again. Yeah. Because you got to go down in the bottom of South America where they used to go to the bottom of Africa. And then water's still rough. You got to remember the Most High held a flood for the Israelites. Shit, he probably won't hold a flood for nobody else, so the water will be real rough and shit. It says, it connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. The canal cuts across the isthmus of Panama and is a conduit for maritime trade. So I just said the word maritime, right? Maritime trade, okay? That's commercial trade, a trade of goods, okay? One of the largest and the most difficult engineering projects ever undertook, the Panama Canal shortcut reduces the time for ships to travel between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, enabling them to avoid lengthy, hazardous Cape Horn route around the southernmost tip of South Africa and via the Drake Passage or the Strait of Magellan, and even less popular route through the Arctic archipelago and the Bering Strait. So it's a hell of a shortcut. If you didn't have the Panama Canal, man, shit, you talk about running out of some shit. They be like, well, we're gonna have some tissue. It'll be about, you run out of tissue in May, they be talking about, we're gonna have a shipment of tissue coming in around by September. Yeah, that's how it'll be. It'll take a long time. You see, bringing goods from one side to the other. So if you can receive it, the Panamanians are the tribe of Zebulon, okay? Can't receive it, then it's not for you. Okay? A haven of ships, man. That's Panama, that Panama Canal. Okay? It gives you the clue, a haven of ships. You see what I'm saying? They give you the perfect clue. Alright? A haven of ships, man. And Zebulon also being one of the ones, when you read in Revelation 7, that's going to have 12,000 elect men out of that nation. Okay? Yep. And we don't know what tribe we born, where we come from. We can just say, but you really don't know. Hell, I could be Zebulon. One of these brothers could be Zebulon for all we know. But we know if we connected with this word and believe it, we Israelite. You see? So, hey, that's going to do it for this portion of the lesson of the tribe. Next week, Lord willing, we might try to do Issachar or one or the other. Okay? What you got?
Deuteronomy 33 and 19.
Oh, don't worry. So we got the gist of it. Zebulon is got a tall head fade.
Like embrace it.
A tall head. Call it tall head. Is that a tall head? So like, we're gonna get into a bigger issue. Well, that ain't no small issue, you know, the tribes. We're gonna get into a issue that's big and it's happening now. We notice it, brothers. When we talk, brothers have almost the same conversations that's happening with brothers about these damn women and how wicked they are, man. These women are doing the most right now. Like, man, like these brothers just talking about some female before we started camp, trying to get somebody else to be with somebody else so she can mess with somebody else, and she already messed with somebody else. The scripture tell you in Leviticus, if a man lie with another man's wife like he do a woman, if you lie with another man's wife, you're gonna be put to death. Okay? There's adultery, sleeping with another man's wife. And you women play a big part of that shit. Because you out here with these men, you got a man, but you trying to do the most. You ain't telling the next man you have a man, or you just going after the man. You ain't warning him. You ain't crying out. You know, you're not crying out. Look at, man, y'all doing the most. So give me Micah 7 and 10. Isaiah 32 and 9.
32 and 12.
9.
There's the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10. It reads, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her.
Okay, she that is my enemy, right? Shame shall what? She says see it, right?
Go on.
It says she gonna see plenty of things. She gonna see that day when the Lord give us this power. Okay, she gonna see that day in Revelations, the first chapter, 7th verse. When the Lord come back, she gonna finally see what he look like, and they gonna wail and moan. Okay, they gonna find out. Then why did they say she that is my enemy? Because she walked hand in hand with who?
Esau.
Yeah, right. You know, she walked hand in hand with Esau. Okay, that's her man. Okay.
Took the Israelite man out of the household, so they need to men.
Yeah, and then what this demon has allowed her enemy, personal, hating, an adversary. You see? We know the fight with Esau and us is personal, but he using the one that's right next to us. He using our who's on our left hand. He using that person, the one that's closest to you. Okay, what it say? Keep your friends closer, but your enemies close. So shit, you laying in the bed with him. Matthew 10 and 30, 34, 35, 36, right in there. It says that the foe's gonna be who? The people in your own house. See, so your biggest enemy is your woman. Okay? And if you have a woman who you lay with, she an enemy to you if she ain't fully immersed herself in this knowledge and going by the scriptures and how she's supposed to conduct herself as an Israelite woman. Then you got who? The other women that's in the nation that we ain't laying with, they our sisters as well, but they against us as well. Okay? Then Yahweh says what? We are a common and delicate woman under him. So in Jeremiah 6 chapter 2nd verse. So the brothers in Israel, y'all doing the same, man. Y'all are enemy of Yahweh as well. Because y'all want to follow all these other doctrines. You want to preach these wayward doctrines. You want to push these other doctrines. You see, you want to do get Galatians 1 and Galatians 1 and is it 10? It talks about it's probably somewhere right in Galatians 1 and 10 speaks of
about rescuing men or
Talk about another doctrine, something like that.